All right, let's go. You can go live. You good? Amadim Lapani Yerushalayim, let us all stand and face Jerusalem. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Barak Hawa, Ba'Hashem, Hamashiach, Yahushai, Lanatan Lanu, Wayom, Hashabat, Ba'Shalom, Borak, Yisrael, Salak, Yisrael, Tawara, Tamyan, Aman. What we said in the Hebrew tongue is, blessed be your name, O our power, our God, Yahweh, for giving us this Sabbath day in peace. Bless Israel, forgive Israel, Amen. Barakatah Hawa, Ba'Hashem, Hamashiach, Yahushai, Lanatan Lanu, Ha'awar, Tawara, Tamyan, Amen. What we said in the Hebrew tongue is, blessed be your name, O Yahweh, for giving us the light. Blessed be your name forever, Amen. Shema O Shema Israel Yahweh Eloheinu Yahweh God. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, your power is one power. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All praises, honor, glory unto Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, for his mercy endureth forever. For in 6 days he made all things and rested on the Shabbat day and sanctified that day, that we may recognize that he is the author and creator of all that we see and touch and smell, and use our senses to enjoy these privileges. Not only that, he has given Israel the Shabbat day as a sign that the world may recognize our foreparents and us today as the chosen nation. We thank you, Most High, for waking us to the truth of who we are and our identity. Once we're lost, now we are found. Once we're blind, now we can see. Once we were dumb, now we can speak. But oh Yahweh, thank you for all these things. There's no words of gratitude to explain how we feel, to explain how happy we are, to understand that we are the people of the Most High, a chosen nation, a special people. Once we were called coons, niggers, and spits, that we were told that we are not God's people, and now it's being said that we are indeed the children of the Most High Yahweh. In this Shabbat day, O Yahweh, bless our people, our nation, which are suffering in the ghettos, which are suffering in the prison system, which are being downtrodden by the nations, being suffered many evils in this earth just because we have no understanding of thy laws. We pray that you bless them with the understanding of the Torah and the understanding of thy discipline, and that through thy discipline and through thy knowledge we may return. We also pray that you bless our lips that speak your word, and let it be used to edify the nation. Let all these words be sent far away in the heart and minds of those that receive it, may have an impact, and that they may change their ways. We pray for GYC, bless the members, bless our brothers and our sisters, bring healing, bring prosperity, and that in all things we may prosper. We ask all these things in the name of Yahawashi, whom you have sent to die for the children of Israel, to water Tamyan Aman. La Shabbat, you may be seated. Shalom Aleichem.
Alecha Shalom.
Shalom Aleichem.
Alecha Shalom.
All praises, glory, honor belong to the only one, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Khan?
Khan.
Khan? Khan? All right. You're still here, man. The Bible say you give us 6 days, the 7th day. You know, it's a day of rest. All praise to Yahweh, because we at least have the hope of one day in the week that we can come and relax ourselves in the Most High. Khan?
Khan.
See, the Most High kept you safe this week. You're back. So this is always something big. For many people had plans for today, but they're not here no more. This is the fragility of human's life, that you may be here today, the next you're not there. So enjoy. Enjoy it while we're still alive. You know, as the brothers say, if you count your days, you probably have 36,000 days left.
That's sad.
You know, it's literally, if you live about 80 years old, you got 36,000 days. So that's why the Bible says, count your days wisely.
Oftentimes, we think of it as years. We say 80 years, that's a long time. When you start looking into it and you think of it as days, your days are really, really numbered.
Yep.
And if you live 120 years, that's 46,000 days. That's nothing.
Not much.
It's not much. In other words, the days that the Most High gives you, enjoy them, but make sure you do righteousness, you do righteous things, you keep the laws and keep the scriptures. Hopefully, you're gonna earn immortality, which He has promised us as a people.
Right. Brother Yakwan, can you move it a little bit on him? I think it's cutting him off. Right, so the camera. So, you know, as we live in this life, man, just remember the best thing to do is keeping the commandments, in doing what the Most High asks you to do, because you see, this life is a taste of eternal life. You see how life is beautiful?
Can someone share it on GIC Outreach?
You see how life is beautiful? This is just a taste of eternal life, man. You know, imagine that you live forever. Okay, with the Most High. right? So we have to thank the Most High for all these things He has done for us as we continue striving to be better every day. All right, so let me share this right quick. All right, so our lesson today is racism in Ukraine and why we are not so surprised. All right, get me Ephesians 6 and 10 to open up. And meanwhile, we got Passover's coming. Who knows when is Passover? When is Passover, bro? That's right. He knows. God. All right. April 16 is coming. It's going to be a Passover. If you haven't gotten your garments, get your garments. You don't want to feel left out. Everybody going to look like they step out of a chariot. You know, so make sure you get your garments, you get your shoes ready, you get your staff.
Yes.
You know, we're going to need a staff. A staff is a stick, because without that stick, according to the scripture, you cannot eat that lamb. You're going to need a girdle, meaning a belt around your waist. You're going to need those things.
That's a requirement.
And the Most High said, do not come empty-handed in those feasts. Not me. The Most High said, do not come empty-handed in those kind of feasts. Right? So prepare accordingly. And also, we have a donation under this video for all of you. I want to donate to support the Passover that's coming, because a lot of expenses. We got people coming from out of state. You understand? Plus, we're doing it in Haiti. Many people are attending in Haiti as well. So all you can do is support as much as you can to make this Passover beautiful by Shem Yahushua. All right, get me Ephesians 6 and 10 to open up.
The book of Ephesians chapter 6 verse 10.
Bring it out.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of His might.
Right, be what?
Be strong in the Lord and in the power of His might.
Right, go ahead.
Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
So the only way we will be able to stand against the tricks of our enemies is by putting on the what?
To put on the armor of the Most High.
That armor is talking about faith, charity, wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Read on.
That ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
The only way we'll be able to stand is to do these things. Read on.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities.
So we're fighting, when you say principalities, it's talking about people with power, right? Governments. You're not just fighting against, white people. You're fighting against their powers, their leaders. Read on.
Establishments,
institutions, corporations.
For example, you have like the Catholic Church. It's been around for 1,000 years.
Yep.
It's not something that just popped up yesterday. You're talking about things that are deeply rooted in society, that have established themselves for thousands and thousands of years.
Yep.
Systems, secret governments, secret organizations.
Yep.
That's been around for thousands of years.
And people really trust. And you trying to unroot that out of our people. This is quite a challenge. Read on.
It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, and against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Spiritual wickedness in high places, man.
If I can add something, spiritual wickedness in high places. There has been cases of 230 pedophilia in the Vatican, from the Catholic Church, and all of those priests, they send them to the Vatican to protect them. Can we prevent them from moving when we first start the service?
Right. So we got pedophilia, all kind of craziness going on with these people in high places. So why do you think the world is so corrupt? Because up there it's corrupt.
Right.
Spiritual wickedness in high places. And these people are pushing those same ideology. When he's talking about spiritual, he's not talking about, there's people speaking in tongue in the church. He's talking about mind. People trying to get control of your mind. You see? People that are putting things in movies, subtle messages. to corrupt your children, okay, to lead your people into wickedness.
You know, nowadays, it's almost impossible for your kids to watch any TV show or any movie without having some kind of gay propaganda. This is what we call wickedness in high places.
Yes.
You could have a show. The show has like the first season, everything is good. Second, third, even fourth season, everything is good, and you really like that show. Boom, they start pushing some gay propaganda. So those are what we call wickedness in high places. Subliminal messages, things that they push on the background that you may not even pay attention to unless you have a spiritual mindset.
So the Bible says we got to put on the whole armor. Knowledge, understanding. So when we see the movies, we see it for what it is. And the same people in the world, when they look at the same movie, they'll say, it's not a thing. I don't think that's propaganda. But you who got spiritual eyes, you're like, man, I can see that. I can smell that from far.
Yes.
You see, because they don't have the whole armor of the Spirit of the Most High. Meaning, the only way you fight spiritual war, it's with the Spirit of the Most High. Spirit fights against spirit. You see, but if you don't have the Spirit of the Most High, you ain't got no spirit.
Can I get Romans 7, verse 14?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
The book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 14.
Bring it up.
For we know the law is spiritual.
The law is what?
For we know the law is spiritual.
God's law is spiritual. Read.
But I'm carnal, sold under sin.
So, but we carnal. We have no spirit in us. But remember, in the beginning, the Most High breathed His Spirit into us and make us a person. So what keeps you godly, what keeps you righteous is the Spirit of the Most High. But if you ain't got none of that, soon your children will be, it's okay, I got gay friends, or that it's okay to be this, to be that. You see, they start thinking it's okay because they have no Spirit of the Most High on them to realize the wickedness.
So the practice and application of the law will make you spiritual, will bring you up to that level.
Yep. All right, so now let's get to the subject. Racism in Ukraine. You know, when Ukraine first started to happen, a lot of people was praying, pray for Ukraine. Hashtag, you know, the church was praying. Right? Well, I think some of them still praying.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right? But now until we see on the media how they treat black people. Right? How they refuse to give them, well, let the video speak, brother. Bring the video out. Let the video speak for itself so people don't think I'm making this thing. We can't make this stuff up. Right? Go ahead, let's play this. Go into Interact and play this for me. You click on Interact. Click on the video again. Turn it on. Click on the same browse. Okay. Do you see Interact? Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Scenes out of Ukraine show desperate people walking miles in freezing temperatures, cramming onto train station platforms, and waiting hours at the Polish border. Included in that number are thousands of international students who just want to go home. Many of them say that their wish is being delayed or denied because of their skin color. The Ukrainian Ministry of Education reports over 80,000 students come from around the world to study at Ukraine's renowned and relatively inexpensive universities and medical schools. More than 18,000 of these students come from India, over 16,000 from African nations like Morocco, Nigeria, Egypt, and South Africa, and many from the Middle East, 158 countries in all. Abira Ahmad Khan was studying medicine in Kiev when she tried to evacuate. She says border officials held her and other international students back.
They waited for all the Ukrainian people to go out first and then other nationalities.
Abira, who is from Pakistan, says the people in the Ukrainian villages have been kind and given them food, but she believes the poor treatment she and her fellow exchange students received from border officials is because of their nationality and skin color.
On the border, they were preferring Ukrainian people, and we had to wait even more than we should have. because of those people, because of racist people.
22-year-old Egyptian student Abdelhamid Ahmed says foreign students were told they would have to pay for their own buses.
Ukrainian people taking bus, and foreign people, except Ukrainian, are going by walking, not taking bus. Too much people walking. Like we walk maybe 40 or 45 kilometers, more than.
Despite the difficulties, Nigerian medical student Lois Kaya says going to the border is his only choice.
By any situation, we need to drain our own country. We cannot stay here. Our university has to talk to people. We are not able to protect you.
Lois' motivation? His mother.
She's waiting for me. She invests her money for my education, so I cannot be blocked in this country. So she's every day crying, why are you? Have you taken your train? I'm watching some video online. What is happening in your country? It's what is it?
In places like India and Nigeria, families are protesting to get their students and loved ones out of a dangerous war zone. Viral videos circulating on social media appear to show African, Middle Eastern, and Indian students treated differently than their European counterparts. Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari responded to the videos in a Twitter statement, saying in part, all who flee a conflict situation have the same right to safe passage under UN Convention, and the color of their passport or their skin should make no difference. Filippo Grandi, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, says there has been a different treatment. There should be absolutely no discrimination between Ukrainians and non-Ukrainians, Europeans and non-Europeans. Everyone is fleeing from the same risks. He says the UN plans to intervene to ensure everyone is treated fairly at the borders. But for now, students from around the world are making harrowing trips through a country currently under attack, trying to make their way home. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm TC Newman.
All right, brother. That's it. All right. Thank you. You can turn off the eyes. And let's go back. All right. Okay, so as you can see, we can't make these things up. No. Right? So they're clearly saying that they treat white people different. You see? But why we are not surprised, this is what we're going to talk about. You know, we Hebrew Israelites have been telling you so. You see, black people have been living in that la-la land where everybody is equal. They've been telling us that we all one in Jesus, but that has never, all right, let's start with Jeremiah 4:21, brother. Let's start with Jeremiah before I start going on. Let's get to the scriptures.
So you catch fire.
Before I catch fire, right? We greet all our brothers and our sisters online. Remember to like and comment on the videos. That's when you do that, the more YouTube recommend our videos and more of our people may see it. All right, come on, let's go. Jeremiah 4 verse 21.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 21.
Read.
How long shall I see the standard?
So the Bible says, how long shall we see the standard? Read.
And hear the sound of the trumpet.
So how long are we gonna see a standard and trumpets? They're used for war. And it's a sign in time of war. So how long we gonna see the signs? How long we gonna hear about these things and we still so shocked and surprised about them?
For my people is foolish.
My people is what?
For my people is foolish.
What does that mean, foolish? That means you hate knowledge. Our people hate knowledge. They don't wanna know. They don't wanna understand how the world works. To them, they live in that white Jesus world where everybody's one, but not truly.
You think you're one of them, or you're one with them, but they don't think the same way you do.
Since slavery times, these people bring us white Jesus. While we were still Christian, we got to sit in the back seat of the church. The slaves used to, sometimes slaves had to stand in the back of the church, but they were all one in Jesus. Right? So how long, the Bible is saying, how long you gonna see the sign though and understand?
Well, those men that were writing the Constitution, all men are created equal. They had slaves at that very same time, at the very same moment.
They had slaves when they were saying all men were created equal. You see, this is the problem with our people. We don't want to understand. We prefer to live in La La Land, man. We prefer to live in a dream. The dream is the Martin Luther King dream, where all whites and black gonna sit down on one table. That's not gonna happen. That's never gonna happen. 2000, never. That's never gonna happen.
2,200 never.
And and it's a big problem for our people. I'm gonna explain to you why it's a problem. When you got someone that don't like you, or that'll never come to terms with you, you try and please these people so hard. Do the best that you can. Play their footballs, eat their food, marry their women, even bleach your body, change the color of your hair, change your nose, just to look like them. Then when you realize they finally never accept you, you're gonna go crazy in your mind. Right? Because these people will never accept you because you're not the same race as them. And no matter how you look at it, the world is divided by race and people in different cultures. We need to stop trying to live unnatural ways of life. It's unnatural for white people to choose you before his own people. It's unnatural for white people to try to save you before they save their own people. It's unnatural. That's not how nature works. No matter if you don't like my message or not. And we Hebrew Israelites have been telling you that. These nations will never treat you equal.
Like you were saying, you have a black man, you have a Chinese man. And this guy is Chinese. Who do you think he's going to save? If somebody's drowning, who do you think he's going to save? He's going to save his Chinese compadre. That's what he's going to do.
It's a natural thing to do. And black people should start doing that. But the problem is we're so broken as a people. We don't understand the importance of helping each other first. Even the Bible says the Jew first, then the Greek. You see, the Jew first, then the Greek. He doesn't say everybody together. The Bible also says in Matthew 24, get me that in Matthew 15, verse 24, right? So let's see about the Canaanite women. This is not a far-fetched concept. This is natural concept. Humans cannot change that. No matter how much the white men push for no racism, racism will always happen, will always exist as long as there's race.
That's it.
As long as there's racism, there's always be racism. Because when we add the word ism or ist behind a word, it makes it pertaining to or concerned with. When you play for Team USA, you're a racist because you're defending USA. When you go play basketball for a country against another country, this is you exercising your racism. Because you are actually concerned with your own nation getting that trophy.
That's it. Like we were saying, like chemist, someone who's a chemist, someone who's a dentist, he's concerned with that particular field, with that particular area, with that particular thing, right? So if someone say, I'm racist, you belong to your own people. You're concerned about your own people.
Who's not concerned with their own people, though? But even white people is saying that, there's no more racism. Will racism ever be over? Will it?
But what they do, if I can add something, too often they have those terms designed to scare you. If I'm a black man, I'm trying to help black people, you racist.
Right.
All of a sudden now I'm going to back down and I don't want to help black people. What's wrong with doing that?
Because the thing is, there is two reasons why they do that. The first reason why they do it, one is because they want black people to stick to white people so they can suck the blood out of us. So we can work their field, fight their wars, make them money, play their soccer, play their basketball, so we can intermingle with them. That's the number one reason. The number two reason is because they never want black people to construct something for themselves. Because if black people ever come and say, well, this is an all-black hospital, I only want black people in here, they say, that's racist, brother. But there's hospital only white people can go to. What's wrong with that? There's hospital only Chinese people can go to. There's hospital, there's place, supermarkets only Japanese can go to. Everybody's doing it, but if black people ever do it, the media gonna take that and explode it and say, well, that's racist. They got it only black people can go to, while everybody else is doing it.
Right. They have private schools that black folks can go to right here in the United States.
Still today, what you talking about?
Right now,
still today, there's cities, there's places black people are not welcome to go.
And here's the thing. Even if
what you talking about?
And here's how you know that the Most High is with us as a people. Even if we were to build something, we say this is just for our people. The enemy could walk right into our neighborhood. We would not harm them, but they will kill us just for being there, for nothing. Let's say I was to build, like, for example, a black hospital. Somebody who is not black come, we would still try to help them and make sure they leave. But they will kill us the moment we show up. You understand what I'm saying? That violence that's in them is just that they want to take you out. Just for existing. That's what we're trying to, that's the level. They will kill you just because you exist. They don't want you to exist.
We look at it back at history. We can't make this stuff up. Look at the Black Wall Street. If you know anything, they don't even teach that stuff in school for our children to learn.
No, Black History Month, they teach you Martin Luther King. They don't teach you Black Wall Street.
They don't teach you all Charlotte's 1969, how much massacre they did. Like whenever they kick black people out of their cities, whenever black people say, okay, fine, you kick me out, I'm gonna build my own stuff, they say, no, you can't live with us, you can build your own stuff.
You can't build your own stuff. Here's the sad thing, Black Wall Street was thriving. We had doctors, we had some of the best. We even started trying to build cars. We were building ourselves up as a people. They got mad. They were jealous. They said, no, you can't do that. So we cannot live with them. We cannot live alone. They won't allow you to build your own things. To them, that's offensive. They get mad because they see black folks who are doing well. And this is the secret, ladies and gentlemen. When we come together as a people, we can do extraordinary things. But they don't like that stuff. They don't like mad. They will sabotage. They will kill if they have to. They massacred hundreds and thousands of people doing what they call Black Wall Street.
And look at Haiti. They're still mad at Haiti from breaking up from France. So they say, well, you're not free from us, then we're going to mess up your country, man. We're going to kill your president. We're going to put guns. We're going to put gangs everywhere. Because why are you trying to live free from us? We don't want you to be a model to the world so black people are inspired to become great. No. You're going to be the worst country so black people don't want to break up from white people. We're going to use you as an example
of what you should not do.
Of what you should not do and what black people should not seek. Freedom from white people.
You know, a lot of times, and I've had that experience in college where there's this, white boy talking bad about Haiti. So I had to give him a history lesson on how Haiti was robbed by foreign powers, right? And too often we're looking at the country, we're like, hey, why is Haiti so poor? They make it poor. You have to understand that. They don't want the country. Haiti has gold, silver. Haiti has oil untapped, never touched. Meaning Haiti has so much oil that they could be self-sufficient for hundreds and thousands of years. Gold, untouched, silver, and all other precious metal, including something we call uranium that can be used to make nuclear weapons. Did you know that stuff? So in other words, why is Haiti so poor? Because they want it that way. To teach you a lesson, Negroes, that you should not try to revolt against their power.
You need to be one with us.
They want you to either be one. They want you to be one with them, or they want to be controlling you.
Well, not again, not one, equal but not equal.
When they say one with them, that just means they want to control you. That's all it means.
They want to control you. I don't want you to build your own stuff. I don't want you to be one with me, but you got to be close enough so I can keep an eye on you. That's why every city in America is divided. You see the west side and the east side. The east side is where white people live, the nice house. The west side is the ghettos live. And when they're tired of you ghettos, they gentrify that, kick you guys out of that, go live in the deep ghettos.
Further west.
Further west. You see, this is why America, we all one, but we still got situations like that. You see? Where we got one side of America is dark, one side is white.
Why is it, right? Let's take a look at this. Let's think for a second.
Matthew 15, by the way.
I'm gonna read it in a second. You have the prison system. Almost 60% of everyone incarcerated is Black Hispanic. Why is it? It's Black Hispanic, yet when you do the number, Black and Hispanics are actually far less than white people in the country. Why are you so, they call it over incarceration, something like that. The murder rate, you just have to look at the numbers. It's war against our people, and yet we can't see it. We expecting them to be nice to us.
Right. Get me Matthew 15, actually.
The book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 24.
Start in verse 22 for me.
The book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 22.
Read.
And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him.
So
saying,
that's another nation. That's in the Bible we're reading. Right? Read.
And came into him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. But he answered her not a word.
What did he say?
He answered her not a word.
I ain't talking. He said, I ain't talking, right? It's a Canaanite, I ain't dealing with you. Read on.
But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away, for she cried after us.
So the disciples, man, send her away, man. We ain't dealing, we trying to help our people out here. Read.
But he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
He said, I'm not sent, but only for Israel. I didn't come for all these nations. See, that's why they make the Bible into a book of all nations come together, red and white and yellow. No, that's not in the Bible. Mashiach came only for Israel, for the Israelites. Thus say the Bible, not me. And pastors have headache with that verse, man. They don't like Matthew 15:24. I bet in the next few versions of Bible, they won't have that too.
They already removed 11 verses in one version, so the next version is going to be missing more verses.
Exactly. Read on.
Right, verse 25. Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me.
He said, help me, please. Read.
Verse 26. But he answered and said, It is not meet to take the children's bread and cast it to the dogs.
It's not meet to take the children's bread to cast it to dogs, to second-class citizens.
Yeah, that break her heart.
But she understood that. Let's see. She understood that. Let's see. Read that.
And she said, Truth.
Is that what she said?
Truth.
She said facts.
Truth.
Read.
Other one. Yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table.
So she understands, look, I'm not an Israelite, I'm a second-class citizen. I agree that after the Israelites get their bread, the little crumbs, I can benefit from it. What does that tell you? That's we can put that in a general lesson. In every people and nation, when you're a second-class citizen, you can't expect the same treatment. Now let's go to Ecclesiasticus and the Apocrypha, 13 verse 15. You can't expect that, like when we're in Ukraine, you can't expect white people to let white people get bombed to save Africans, to save Indians in all these nations. You can't expect that. But the thing is, our people are living in a dreamland. This is why it's such a big deal in the media, that racism thing.
It's not new. We've been know about it.
This is how the world works. Every nation should start accepting, hey, look, my people first. That's the way it is. Even the Bible says the Jew first, then the Greek. But we're having a hard time to accept it because we've been brainwashed by Esau.
Weeks before the war, the fake Jews, they start taking their people and bringing them people back home.
Right.
America say all Americans should leave right now.
Where was the leaders of Africans?
Where was the leaders of Nigeria? Where was the leaders of India?
Ghana.
The Indian man. I don't know his name. Where was he? Where was everybody else? Because they weren't concerned about their own people.
Exactly. They don't care.
So now they expect the white men in Ukraine to be concerned with Africans.
When they don't care themselves.
Exactly. Like Yeshua said, when they don't care themselves. If all of a sudden now the African leader, Muhammadu Buhari, whatever his name is, his name sounds like burrito. Why are you tweeting right now? Why did you coordinate an effort to get your citizens back home?
Exactly.
All of a sudden, now you can tweet. But you had weeks. The battle tanks were already lined up at the border. The jets were there.
And everybody was pulling their nations out.
Hey, but you did nothing.
You did nothing. Now you expect the
tweets.
white men to play Superman and save everybody.
Please help us.
Even Superman save white people in the movies. Yeah, concern no Negro. You understand? So look, read that. Let's show you what this is the dream we're living in.
You didn't call the verse.
See, we expect the white man to be the hero of everybody, but the white man only care about his people. Ecclesiasticus 13, verse 15.
The book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 13, verse 15. Ecclesiasticus chapter 13, verse 15. Every beast love his like.
Every beast love his like. The Most High create every animals to stick to their animals. Goats hang out with goats. Goats date goats. Okay, goats make friends with goats. Right? Lions hang out with lions. You know, it's only in movies you see, you know, like in Shark Tales, you know, there's a movie, a dolphin trying to act like a shark. A shark trying to act like a dolphin. It's a sweet shark.
Imagine if we were to say all animals have to come together. Man, them lions would be happy.
Exactly, and this is the same concept with humans. The minute you say every human should come together, someone's gonna be a victim.
Someone will prevail.
Someone gonna be the victim. If you say all animals come together,
and by the way, you best believe the Most High gave Esau one of the gifts that the Most High gave Esau is his weapon. The Most High gave us that spiritual and religious aspect for us to be righteous. The Most High gave Esau a weapon. So we're going to be victims because they're going to start shooting us. That's why when we go to war, the only way we prevail is because the Most High help us.
Right.
It's not because our weapons were the best. At times we go to war, man, and the enemy is so many. We're like, please help us. And the Most High always come through and help us. But the Most High blessed Esau with guns. So when he comes, he's going to slaughter us. He's going to massacre us because that's his gift, to be able to kill. So the same thing, if you bring all the animals together, you best know that the lion and the tiger, they will prevail and they will kill every little goat, every little antelope, and every little deer. They will all be victims. And I'm pretty sure they'll be happy. It'll be a feast party.
No, well, I mean, whenever you do that, the one in power is always happy. Right now, white people's happy. They're living good because they assimilated all these nations and victimized and take advantage of them. I told you, this is the reason why they come with the whole concept, oh, no racism, is because they want you to play in their soccer and they know your strength. They're using your power for their benefits. That's why all their football team, their basketball is full of Negroes, right? And they use the Chinese to make their technologies. And they use the Hispanic to make their burritos.
The buildings too.
Their buildings too.
Construction.
So this is the whole plan of the white man. Tell them there's no racism so I can take advantage. Donald Trump hates Hispanics. He hates them.
Yes.
He said they're rapists, but who built Trump Tower?
Hispanics.
And he didn't even pay them.
When they try to sue him, he counter-sue them. What kind of criminal is this, man?
He didn't even pay these brothers. You see, this is the reason why the white man is pushing that no racism. No, just leave everybody the hell alone. Let them do, let us build our nation. Let us have our own school. Leave us, and don't try to bomb us. But they don't want that. That's not an advent. Why would you tell a lion, you know, leave the sheep alone? That's his meat. They won't leave us alone because we meat to them.
That's how he eat.
That's how he eat. Nigga gotta eat. That's how they won't leave us. But it's our responsibility to flee. It's our responsibility to protect ourselves. It's not their responsibility. They see meat, we see a predator. We see someone that's gonna harm us. We need to be careful, not them, right? So just like he was saying, where were all these presidents when the white man was removed their citizens out of there? No, they're waiting for hoping the white man will treat us equally and put us in the same bus as the white man. No, that's not gonna happen. Read on that.
The book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 13 verse 15, every beast love his like, and every man love his neighbor.
Every man what?
Love his neighbor.
His neighbor is talking about his own people. Your neighbor is not even the Bible tells you your neighbor is the Israelites. in Leviticus 19:27. He said, you shall love your neighbor, the nation of your people. Your neighbor, you see, that taught us wrong in Christianity. They say our neighbor is the one that lives next door. But the white people don't know that. You living next door, he's watching to see if there's anything so he can call the cops on you. He's not your neighbor. He's here to watch the hood, the ghetto. There's one by my house all day. The minute he hear Negro out, she's already out there. And police is always in the area because we got someone snitching.
She's probably the one calling the police.
Of course, that's why they have them in the ghetto. What do you think? It's a program, bro, to have these white people in the hood to call the cops on niggas.
I see two Negroes.
In your neighborhood, there's always a white person. And their job is to make sure they keep you in check, to call white people, to call. They're paying them to live there. You just don't know. It's a whole program, man. Okay? It's a whole program out here. You see? Read on.
Verse 16, all flesh consort according to kind.
So all flesh consort according to kind, meaning all flesh work together according to their own species and kind. This is what we gotta accept, black people. Look, here's the thing. It's a simple fact. This is the natural ways. Goats will marry goats, but black people will marry white people. And hoping that one, because I was watching a video, there was a black girl. She was crying because her man was being racist. They're married, and when the man is angry, calling her nigger and everything. What did you expect? That because he married you, that he's gonna forget who he is? Can a zebra change his stripes, as the Bible says? He's a natural beast.
I think I saw that TV. Was it on Dr. Phil?
Yeah, yeah.
The guy, he had a kid with this black woman, and he actually admitted, he's like, I don't like black folks, and he's calling her nigger, like literally.
Yeah.
So what did you expect? I mean,
what did you expect? You marry a white person. You think it's like if there's a war, you think white person gonna go, oh, there's a civil war between white and black. Who you think the white person gonna fight for? A lot of you Negroes simple gonna, I don't know, he may choose. Nah, Negro, he's gonna fight for his people. You sottish children, and that's why the Bible said our people's foolish. We don't see the reality for what it is. Now all of you are so shocked about how Ukraine is racist because you were praying for these white people.
There's more.
All right, read on that.
All flesh, Ecclesiasticus chapter 15, verse 15.
Right, read.
Verse 16, all flesh consort according to kind.
Read on.
And a man will cleave to his like.
A man will what?
And a man will cleave to his like.
A man will cleave to his like. This is what the Bible say. It doesn't matter what you feel, what you understand. The Bible say white people will always cleave to his own white people.
And we're not saying that's a problem.
And we're not saying it's a problem. It's perfect. The only problem is we don't recognize that. We're living in dreamlands. This is why we cannot build each other up, because we're trying so hard to be one with the white man, you forget your own people. Now these days, black people are more racist toward their own people than white people are racist toward us anyway.
He ain't lying.
You know, the way they treat white people in the stores, the way they look at you, it's like you the damn enemy.
Pay attention next time you go to a store. If the person in front of you is white, the cashier will be like, hi, how are you? If the cashier is obviously black. But as soon as you come, they're looking at you. Oh, this nigga looking at me for? What do you want?
Right. You can't even look.
That's
what
not
you
your
looking
attitude.
At. Like they're always. That's like they're always angry with you, like without doing nothing to them. But whenever they see the white kids, oh, so cute. Black kids, you're ugly. See, this is the wicked mindset of our people, man.
And we blame Christianity for that, number one.
Right? We're blaming white Jesus for that, man. Because this is, when you look at the white man as your God, then the people that look like the white man, they are God to you. Right? Read on that. You say, every man consort according to kind.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 13. Give him the phone. If you ask for it, give it. Wicked. Ecclesiasticus chapter 13, verse 16.
Read on.
All flesh consort according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like.
A man will cleave to his like. That's what we black folks need to start doing, man. Cleave to our own people. If you got a problem, don't call the damn white man first. Call me. Call this brother right there. If you need to borrow money, don't go to the damn white man first. Find a brother to borrow the money from. At least we won't charge you interest because we are brother. But you go to the white man first.
A brother will easily borrow you $200-300 and not ask you for interest. You go to one of them check cashing stores, 14%. 14%.
See, this is the problem. We're not even, we trust the white man so much. Every problem, you run to the white man. You got problem, you need money to borrow, you got a problem. You don't even call your brother. You calling everybody except your brother. Some of you even call them Christians who hate you already, who's worse than the white man.
And that's another thing. What he's saying is so true. Oftentimes, all people, it's like they're built not to trust one another. It's okay if you don't have something to ask another brother or another sister. It's not, don't feel ashamed. Don't feel like it's a problem if you need to borrow $50. Call a brother, call a sister. Nobody's gonna bite. If the brother has it, I promise you, in the congregation, they'll give it to you. They'll give it to you. It's okay. We are on one.
And you must give it to your brother.
Don't go and borrow it from Esau with 14% interest. That's only gonna make you poor.
And that'll make our community poor because you can't support our community. You see, like, we need to start cleaving. The Bible says man should be cleaving to his own like. We need to accept the truth. The truth is that nobody will ever love you more than your people.
Your greatest gift is your own people. I say that all the time. You won't know the importance of one of your people until you go to China. You've been treated bad, and you see one black man is like standing up for you, like, man, thank you, my brother, thank you, thank you, thank you.
And you know, the only reason why these people mistreat us is because we don't stand together. We're people, everybody's caught in doing their own thing. The police can be beating a black man, everybody's taking videos instead of trying to do something. You see, but if they know you can't kill all of us, we're gonna stop you when you're putting your knees on the neck of my brother, we're gonna pull you out. You're gonna have to kill all of us, then kill all of us. Then we stand strong together. Why don't they do that to the Chinese? Why don't they do that to the Japanese? Because they stand together. They got a president. They got people responsible. But black people, the Bible says we like sheep. Everybody's going to their own ways. Nobody's cleaving to, everybody's trying to cleave to a damn white woman and to a damn white man. Nobody's trying to cleave to each other, man. Even in the truth, you got brothers still trying to make it about purple rain or blue rain. Or no. They're still making it about color instead of us coming together. About my camp is better, this camp. We still bring the same nigger spirit to this truth.
But if you ain't part of my camp, my brother, we're not talking. That's Christianity number 2. Might as well go back to Christianity. You should feel comfortable if you see a brother with fringes to have a normal conversation without feeling any type of hostility. You can be like, man, hey man, I see you have fringes. What camp you go to? No, if he's wearing fringes, that's his commitment to keeping the law. That itself is what you need to know. We can have a conversation, a normal conversation, without being like, I ain't talking to you, don't go to my camp. I remember he was telling me that story. One of them say, I'm not buying from you because you're not part of my camp.
Exactly.
Come on.
You see? But if we're more racist toward each other than the white man, it's self-destruction. It's Willie Lynch. You see? It's Willie Lynch.
Verse 17.
All right? Read on that.
I'm catching fire. Verse 17. What fellowship has the wolf with the lamb?
So what fellowship the wolf have with the lamb?
So the sinner with the godly.
Right? So what fellowship black people will ever have with white people? It's never gonna happen. I'm not saying at a level, okay, you go to your work, you say good morning, yeah, but that's it. After work, I go home, I go to my folks, you go to your folks, that's it. I don't have to hang out with you. You know, I don't have to have your number and be called. That's it, man. We workers. When we see at work, hey, good morning, Billy. Hey, good morning, Tyrone. All right.
Why do you have to use Tyrone?
It's typical black. Right?
Billy and Tyrone.
That's it. So that's it, man. Then okay, we work there. What should I do? Okay, what should you do? That's it. Then after work, that we go home. We go to our black wives, you go to our white women, and that's it. But we don't want to accept that reality because we've been brainwashed for so many years. And the white man brainwash us to his own advantage because he's the more powerful. If we were more powerful than a white man, you think he'd want to integrate with us? No, because he'd know he would be the victim. He knows. Read on, let me show you something. What the Bible say about the rich and the poor.
Verse 18. What agreement is there between the hyena and the dog?
The hyena and the dog are never friends.
And what peace between the rich and the poor?
There's no peace between rich and the poor. The more powerful will always take advantage of the poor. Okay? Okay, so if I'm rich and you think I'm going to sit here and let the poor become rich and take my place? You must be out of your wits. You see, in America, this is why they want to make sure they're creating policies all day long to keep black people down. Because if you work hard enough and you make it to the system, what's going to happen? You taking their place. You're going to be rich. They're going to go down. You think, just like in Egypt, when we're in Egypt, once we start getting powerful, the Egyptians said, no.
That's way too far now.
You getting too far. If they become too powerful, they're going to overthrow us. And it's normal because nobody wants to be overthrown. But it's all up to you. You understand? To understand wisdom on how to manage these things. The better we understand how the world works, the better we have a chance of getting out of this situation. But if you try and get out of this situation with a bunch of Negro that believe in the white man, just like I talked to one of them, I mean, like we need to come together and face the crisis of our country. This man say, well, we're going to need the white man help for that. We don't need the white man help for that. He will not help us. So you trying to say white people should help us overthrow him? You out of your mind? You know, in Egypt, like you were saying, in Egypt, that was one of the number one reason why they started putting us in slavery, because we were thriving, we were increasing in number, and they didn't like that stuff. They're like, one day they can just easily ally with the enemy and overthrow our government, and they were mad. So this is why oftentimes if black people try to come together, they get scared. Black people gonna come and overthrow us. We just want to live peacefully. We just want to gather ourselves together and live as a people. That's what we want to do. Right. Get me right? Psalm 83 right quick. So the Bible put it clean, and every beast cleave to its own kind. This is a natural. We're trying to do unnatural things. You see, we're fighting against our nature. Our nature is that I want to be around my own people. I want to marry black people. I want to eat black food. A lot of you Negroes go marry these white women. Now they start giving you mac and cheese all day. You got a problem. Then you end up cheating on these white girls because, well, the food ain't right. He ain't got no season. Man, you marry a white woman, what you expect?
I see one of the...
Or my wife give me duck head. Well, you marry a Chinese. They only know how to cook duck heads. What do you expect? They're going to become black? For your sake? Nah, man. Just stop kidding yourselves. All right, read that, right?
Psalm 83?
Psalm 83 verse 2, man.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 2.
Read.
For lo, mine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate me, and they that hate thee, have lifted up the head.
The people that hate the God, the black Christ of the Bible, the black God of the Bible, they hate God, the God of the Bible. Start in verse 1. Let me show you. So some people don't know that some people hate your culture. They hate your God. They don't want to worship your God. That's why they change it white. Okay, read that. Let me show you.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1.
Read that.
Keep not thou silence, O Most High.
Read on.
Hold not thy peace, be not silence, O Most High. For lo, thine enemies.
So he says God's enemies, read.
Make a tumult.
He said, don't say enemies, say enemies. Because a lot of you may say, oh, that's it. No. Those are men, those are enemies from earth. Read.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
What they said?
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
What is crafty counsel? Meaning it's tricky counsels.
Wicked plans.
Wicked plans against God's people. What they said against God's people?
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
Uh-huh.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
From what?
From being a nation.
This is the goal, guys. The Bible already gives us the secret. The whole goal of the whole racism campaign, we all want, is to keep us from gathering together and become a nation. Read that one last part again. What the enemy said?
The book of Psalm chapter 83 verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So the whole goal of white supremacy is to keep black people from coming together. Because if you come together, then you're going to become a nation. If you become a nation, there's a chance you're going to be superior to them because you work harder, you jump faster, you run faster, you're more intelligent in many ways. You're stronger in many things. Now imagine, you know, what we can do if we really come together. They say we dumb, we stupid, but yet when we had Black Wall Street, that we had the first black millionaire in America.
And like Ishar is saying, they really did try, and they're still trying. 90 million Negroes raped, murdered, and dispersed around the world, and now we're coming back.
Right.
We're waking up. So they really tried their very best. We were not even supposed to know what we know today. We were forbidden from reading. We couldn't practice. We couldn't even sing our own songs. We couldn't gather. We couldn't gather in small groups. That was unlawful. That was against the law back in the days.
Right.
Right? So they really tried. Verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
So that they don't want you to know you're an Israelite. That's why they take your identity. That's why they want to be you, because they're making money off of you. They take your land, they take your riches, they take your name, they're making money, they take your Christ, they take your Bible. Do you know how many copies of the Bible sell yearly? 100 million copies. You know how much money they make on the Bible per year? Billion. You ain't getting none of that, and that's your history. That's your culture. They're making billion on your culture, your God, your history. So you think they're gonna give that to you like that? You must be out of your wits. Okay? So these people, they don't. The most important thing, they don't want us to know we the Israelites, and they don't want us to come together as a nation.
Can I read something right quick? That's going to be in Deuteronomy verse 30, verse 1. I'll read it right quick. It says, and it shall come to pass, when all these things have come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind against the nations whither the Lord thy power has driven thee. In other words, where you're going to be, remember, their aim, their goal was to make sure the remembrance of Israel was no more. In other words, that you don't remember who you are. But here in Deuteronomy 30, it says, when you're going to be in that land, if you start remembering, if you see that one little hint that tells you that you're an Israelite, then from there you start practicing and go back to the laws and statutes of the commandments, then the Most High will bring you back to your ancestral homeland.
Right.
That's the deal. So in other words, even though they try to make sure you never remember who you are, that you forget you're an Israelite, that you even fight against people that teach you that you are Israelite. One day, hopefully, this spark, you're going to get that one little spark. And then you're going to remember, it says right here, which I have said before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind. You're going to remember them among all the nations whither the Most High thy power has driven.
We live in prophecies, man.
Prophecies.
Now we know who we are. Khan? Right? So let's go to Isaiah 66 and 4, man. You see, the problem is, man, we got that delusion. We're delusional, right? You see, we backward as a people, man. So we really thought that the Ukrainians was gonna leave their people on food and take you Negroes. That's you being delusional. And they're gonna keep the system going by saying UN security said, well, it should be, but it's not. Doesn't matter what they say. You think till now they're still evacuating Africans? No. Not because they make statements. No, there's bombs falling. We ain't got time for you black folks. We're gonna save white people first, and they're damn right. There should be. Because that's how it works. I'm not gonna let my cousins, my brothers, my relatives to die for you. Who are you?
Like this in the hood. Who is you?
Who is you? Read on that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 4.
Verse 4.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 4. I also will choose their delusion.
What? I will choose what?
I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them.
So I'll bring their fear upon you. I'll choose your delusion. Now look up the word delusion in the dictionary for me, brother. Let's see what delusions mean. Because some of you don't know what that means. The Bible says, the Most High God say, I will choose the black folks' delusion. You'll be delusional.
I'm looking at the word delusion in Google. It says it's an idiosyncratic belief or impression that is firmly maintained despite being contradicted by what is generally accepted as reality or rational argument, typically a symptom of mental disorder.
You see that? The Bible says, I'm going to give you a mental disorder.
You got mental problems.
You got mental problems. He said, believe that you hold so firm, although it's not part of reality. It's not true.
Meaning you hopelessly waiting. You hopelessly think that they will accept you one day and that you will be the same as them. That's you delusional. You are crazy. Está loco.
It's an idea you're holding on to that will never happen. See, the Bible is saying we got mental problems. We delusional. We holding to that idea that one day white people will treat us equally. Never gonna happen. And it's been 3,000 years since the time of the Greeks. We were hoping that.
It still ain't never happened.
It's still not happening. Since the time of the Greeks, black people wanted to join. When you look at the Apocrypha, black people left their culture. We left the priesthood to play games to become like the Greeks. Yet the Greeks still kill us. We left everything. We left. Like, you see, it's sad when you look in the Apocrypha. How many of the priests left the priesthood to go play naked games with the Greeks?
And you got all people that supposed to sacrifice animals that's lawful. All of a sudden, they pulling up trying to sacrifice pigs because that's what the Greek told them to do.
And the Apocrypha had mentioned that we start wearing hats. Hats is something the Greeks came up with. We never wore no hats. You know, skinny jeans, assimilating with our other people. But read delusion for me again. I want black people to hear this. The word delusion, what does that mean? Read that again. Right?
The definition of the word delusion, and that's straight on Google. If you put delusion and you put delusion definition, it will give you the definition. An idiosyncratic belief or impression that is firmly maintained despite being contradicted by what is generally accepted as reality or a rational argument, typically a symptom of mental disorder.
Typically a symptom of you firmly hold on to that. Some of you, even you hear this, no, gotta love white people. Gotta be one with them. You know, the one day we're gonna be like Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King had a dream. It's not a reality. A lot of you black people still living in Martin Luther King dream, although you didn't have the dream yourself. You're delusional. You're crazy. You think one day you're gonna sit with the white man on the same table.
Here's an example of delusion.
That's a big delusion right here, and this is why we got the delusion.
If you continue to believe this man is Christ, you're delusional right there.
You're delusional. It's a lie.
Because the Bible tells you he's black. He's black. Historical evidence tell you he's black. There are bones that was extracted in Israel showing that the people that lived during the first century were black folks. And I still have the article, by the way. If you need it, I can send it to you. Okay? They were all black folks. And yet, you're still clinging to this guy, to this image,
to this delusion.
That you are delusional. And in case closed, I win. Deuteronomy 8:32 verse 8.
Get me Deuteronomy 8:32, man.
Deuteronomy.
So sister said, the good question. We all created from Adam, one blood, right? Okay.
Deuteronomy 32:8.
Let's see what the Bible say, not what we say. You see, if you don't want to accept the concept of God, you delusional. If God say this is how it should be, and you go contrary to that, you delusional. Let's see what God say concerning races. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 32 verse 8.
Read.
When the Most High visited the nations, when the Most High divided.
When it what?
When the Most High divided.
What does divided means? To put everything aside. Divided who?
When the Most High divided to the nations their
The Bible
inheritance,
divided the nations.
and give each one of them their
God
portion.
said, I divided the nations. I decide every nation should be separated. But if you're trying to put everybody together, you're going against nature and against God ultimately. And when you do that, you're delusional. Thinking that you can bring all these nations together. Read on.
When he separated the sons of Adam.
The sons of who?
When he separated the sons of Adam.
God separated the sons of, although he made Adam and everybody come from Adam, God said, I'm going to separate you. You're going to be white people, you're going to be black, you're going to be Ethiopians, you're going to be this, you're going to be that, and stay in your border, do your thing. This is God's doing. Natural way of living. Read on.
He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
Right, so read.
For the Lord's portion is his people.
So among all these nations, he separate, then he say, well, I divide them. You here, you here, you here, you here. This one is mine. Right, read.
For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
It's not us. God divided nations and he chose Israel for himself. So if you're going outside of that, you're forcing because you see, everything God created, there's a rule to it. Even the sea, the Bible says, I put a decree that the sea should not spill over. Because there's more water than earth, actually. You know that, right? 70% of the planet is water.
In other words, the water could have easily overflowed the land.
Oh, easily. But the Bible says, I put a decree. A decree is a law.
Stand still.
That make the sea stand where it is.
Just like you're saying, just think for a second. You have more water than soil, and yet the earth is consistently spinning, and the water never overflows. It never covers the whole earth.
Right? So that's mean there's a law.
There's a law set in place.
So what does that mean? Everything in nature, there's a law to it. The minute you break the rules, you're delusional. You're going to be victim. The minute you think I'm going to go against God and I see and join all nations and become one with them, you're going to lose. Because you break a law.
If you don't believe what Yeshua is saying, what happened to ancient Babylon? They used to conquer, wanted to make everybody Babylonian. What happened to the ancient kingdom of the Assyrians? Where are they now? Right? So your concept of let me just go and conquer and try to make everybody my own people, it ain't gonna work.
It's not gonna work. Because the whole propaganda about Muslim is to colonize the Muslim. Well, that fell too. Because they thought I could go in the Middle East and Christianize everybody. But the Muslim, they'll never be Christians. They said never. We're going to stay who we are. We were Muslim back then. We're going to be Muslim. We're going to die Muslim. We're going to be in the heaven Muslim, if there's a heaven for Muslims.
There is no heaven for them.
You ain't going to make us Christians. And that's what happened in Afghanistan. The white people got that delusion that all nations should be one. Not that delusion, that plan. Because they know what they're doing. Because if I get everybody under me, accept my Jesus, I can sell them my wickedness. I can make more money off of them.
Can I get a verse right quick?
I can rule over them and oppress them. This is the plan.
I'm going to get a verse right quick if you don't
What you
mind.
got?
That's in the book of Mark, chapter 7, verse 26. The book of Mark, chapter 7, verse 26.
We didn't finish Isaiah though, but
I'll go back to it. The book of Mark, chapter 7, verse 26, and it says, the woman was Greek, a Syrophoenician by nation. She besought him that he would cast forth the devil out of her daughter. Now, I just want you to pay attention to that. The woman was a Syrophoenician, meaning technically the woman was a Syrian woman, but the woman was Greek. Why was the woman was Greek? Because the Greek was expanding their nationality and religion to everybody.
Yes.
That's why it's going to go back where you're going to find a lot of Israelites were called Greeks.
Exactly.
You could be living in Syria, you were called a Greek.
Yep.
In fact, one of the greatest part of the Greek Empire was Syria. That was one of the capitals, right? So you had people like in Egypt, they were calling themselves Greek. You had people in Athens, they were calling themselves Greek. You had people in Syria, they were calling themselves Greek. In Palestine, they were calling themselves Greek. And even in Israel, we had Jews that were calling themselves Greek. So that's why the prophets later would say there is no difference between Jews and Greeks, because he was referring to those Greeks.
You say we all one. You're talking about the Israelites.
But it's going back to what we were saying. The Greeks wanted to make everybody Greek. Regardless of your skin color, regardless of your culture, you become Greek. You become one with them. But at the end, they were in control.
Get me First Maccabees 1:41.
Right? So at the end, they were in control.
That's the whole point. You know, they find it easier than fighting nations to force them to become like them. They just brainwash you with that idea. We all one, but I got to rule over you, though. We can be one. Why don't you let Negroes rule, though? We all one, but you under us. We all one, right?
26.
But that's not going to happen. First Maccabees 1:41.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
That all should be what?
That all should be one people.
Antiochus was a white man, was a Greek. He the one that came up with that all people under white people.
Should be one
Should be
people.
one people. When he says one people, that means, you know, all under me.
And here's the best part. Verse 42. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. And
To his what?
To his religion.
It's a religion, what they're doing.
And sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbath.
Right.
So even among our people, some of our people were more than happy to start breaking the Shabbat. They're like, man, we're not keeping the Shabbat no more. Hey, great, let's go partake. Because the king, a Greek king, say everybody should become Greek. But everybody should leave his culture, religion, should leave his laws to follow the customs and the religion and the laws of the Greek, essentially become a Greek man.
Right, but they don't understand when you become one with someone more powerful, you're a lamb trying to become one with a lion. You just meat for him. You see, you'll always be oppressed. And every day we're going to be shocked about Ukraine, things like Ukraine, where they're mistreating black people because, what? I thought 2022 still racism? Like, what? 2050 was white people still alive, there'll still be racism. Hopefully not. You see, this is the way the Most High created it, that every nation should love their own people first.
Would you like peace on the earth? Let everybody do their own
Leave
thing.
them the hell alone, man.
Let everybody have their own portion.
Let black people alone. Get out of our land in Israel. Let us leave and let us be.
That's it.
We're going to create our own things. Leave us alone.
You don't have to go to Afghanistan and force them to be Christian. Let them do their own thing.
But the white people don't have such agenda. Their agenda is get every nation under me, have control over you. They don't. Venezuela don't want to give them that oil. They're want to ban Venezuela. Because what they want is money. The Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. Because if they can use every nation to build themselves up, that's great. So they're going to bring that idea. No, you don't need to be separate. Join me. We all one people. So they can suck, they can make you play their sport and still humiliate you. All right? Get me my last verse, basically. Get me Zephaniah 2, verse 1. So we're not surprised at all about what's going on, man. See? We understand. We got spiritual eyes to know it was bound to happen. And it's a message for black people over here too. If something ever happened in the United States, it's not, unless we ever learning but never come to the understanding of the truth. You see, that's what the Bible says. During Katrina, didn't that happen? During Katrina, when there's a big flood, white people were saving white people. The only color they could see is red faces.
They couldn't see black folks.
They couldn't see black folks. You were too black to see.
Our people was starving. Like, there was no food, no water, nothing. Crying, babies crying. And they had a bunch of organizations. I think FEMA was there too. Was FEMA created at that time? They were just passing around food, giving food to white folks. Black people was getting none. They don't care about you.
And it's after the media, like, black people started outrage. They bring a coon pastor. They said, calm down, Negro.
Oh, they bring TD Jakes in all Sharpton. As soon as black people are protesting, they're like, we're hungry, we're dying, please help. They send a couple of Christian pastors, calm down, Jesus loves you. Let me tell you something. When there's trouble, when there's wars, when there's disasters, not even when they...
Don't count on the white man.
Come together, okay? Come together as one and figure out what you're going to do.
Don't count on the white man.
Tell them, you have water, you have rice, you have this. Let's come together and create a big meal and feed each other. Don't wait for people to give you anything.
And this is a message to all Hebrew Israelites and to all Hebrew Israelites leaders, including in GYC. Don't wait till trouble comes and start preparing.
To
prepare
always
before
be
that.
prepared.
You see, white people already have boats. During Katrina, they had their boats going. What did black people have? We were busy buying Jordans. Jordans can't navigate.
They can't swim?
Jordans cannot float on water.
They'll make you sick.
You know? So you were busy buying Jordans and not preparing for this kind of events. We are people without vision. Same thing happened in Haiti. Earthquake, then the next earthquake happened, they were still not ready.
You have not learned from the first one.
And guess who we calling when that happened? White people help us, then they don't help. Racist! What are they, your daddy or something? You see, that's why our leaders need to take notes. We got a rescue center in our organization. We need to take notes and prepare. It's not when bad things happen, then we're scrambling and waiting for white people, and we mad if they don't treat us like their own fellow white people.
And I've always said that if you have used shoes, used clothes, give them to rescue center so we can send to them kids in Haiti. I have a brother this week that donated, and I really appreciate it. He had a bunch of clothes, he's used clothes for his daughter that his daughter doesn't wear anymore. He donated them. You can do that too. We got kids.
And if there's generators, anything you can give for us to prepare, because there's hurricane season. I remember there was a hurricane season. We were prepared.
Yes.
We had all kind of things at my house, and a couple of brothers that crashed at their house. Meanwhile, their family was calling them, oh, they went to Black Jesus, they got electricity. I'm like, damn right. We came together and make it happen.
Some of their families was like, why you don't stay in the house, you go somewhere else? Because somewhere else is where we were prepared. We had our generators running, we had food, where
were your Christian pastors?
They didn't help you prepare.
They don't care about the people. They're just making tons of money. And this truth, we're not even pushing this truth. You see how much things we can do? But we give tons of money to these greedy dogs that have never done the damn thing for black people. You see?
Oh, and the Bible do call them greedy dogs, just so you know.
Isaiah 56:10. We got precepts. You see, they haven't done nothing for black people, but you give them money. But this truth, everybody want to be stingy. You see, the thing that could really help us is show our mentality, man. Because we're not teaching white Jesus, is that why y'all can help? We don't see no white men in front. We don't trust what's going on because it's not white people in charge. We got to support this truth, man. So get me Zephaniah 2 verse 1. Let's close with that, man.
The book of Zephaniah chapter 2 verse 1.
Read.
Gather yourselves together.
Do what?
Gather yourselves together.
The Bible say, what the Bible say, class? I can't hear you. What they say?
Gather yourselves together.
So the Bible give us an order to gather ourselves together. Read.
Gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation that desire.
That's what we got to do. I know they don't like when we gather together. But if we gather, the Most High say, they shall gather not in my name, and then I shall, whoever gather not in my name will fail. But if we gather on the Most High name, we won't fail. That's the truth. Other than that, they would stop the Israelites movement already. They're doing all they can to stop this as we're speaking. But every time they break one camp, it turns into 10 more. So that now they don't know what to do. It's everywhere. You see? But if we gather in the Most High name, they can stop this truth. So now we got the Most High protection. Let us cover. Let us gather. Because we've tried with Martin Luther King, with Malcolm X, all of these failed. Because they did not come with the Most High. You see, but if we're doing this with the Most High, man, they will look at us, they can touch us. Come. See, the Most High said, gather ourselves together, what?
Gather yourselves together, gather together, O nations not desired.
The Bible calls us, what does that mean, a nation not desired? What does that mean?
That means the people that nobody want to see, they don't want to chill with you, they don't like you.
They don't like you. The people that are not desired, that they hate.
If something is not desired, meaning it's something that everybody hates.
There's a people that's not desired, and it's you, and you God's people. And you not desired on this earth. The only thing the Bible says, gather together, O people not desired. Read.
It says, before the decree bring forth.
Before, after or before?
Before the decree bring forth.
What does that mean, the decree? Before bad stuff start happening. Meaning we need to start getting our own bus, our own generator, our own boats, our own everything before things start happening. If Africans thought about their people in Ukraine, they would have at least a team that have supplies.
Listen, it's not expensive for them to have. You have all those countries in Africa for them to have sent one single plane in the capital Kyiv and have all them Africans just load in the plane and bring them back to Africa. Africa has so much diamond and gold, you won't believe it. You think it's really that expensive to do that? Why did they have to wait till the end when people are dying to start tweeting, sending tweets? Because
they're not even helping.
They don't even care about their own people. They want white people to care about their own people.
We just watching the video. They're walking 45 kilometers, man, to get there. 45.
In a war zone.
In a war zone. That's far away, man. That's okay. It's not Orlando, but that's from here to
West Palm Beach.
To West Palm Beach, clear. You understand?
You think it's actually right there because you drive every day. You do it in 40 minutes. Wait till you're walking. You better be ready to do it in 5 days and 6 days.
Believe me, like from here to West Palm Beach, like even here from Pampa, like when I walk, I thought, oh, it's easy walk. I'm just gonna come here and there because I do it in 2 minutes. Boy, that take me 30 minutes.
It's a long time.
You know, but I'm not talking, like if you walk 1 mile, it's already a long time. You see, I'm not talking about going from here to West Palm Beach where it's 45 minutes. You see, but some of our people are walking that. But no leaders in sight. But the Bible says we need to gather together before things start happening. Don't wait for white people. Don't say white people got me. When things go bad, we're waiting for white people to save us. No, like something happened, they will save whites first. If you're alive after that and you start protesting, maybe they'll remember you. Okay? Because everybody will choose their own people first. It's natural. Read on.
Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the shaft, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you.
Right? What else? Read on.
Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth.
So that's what we got to do in these last days, man. Seek the Most High, gather together. You see, when he says gather together, not just come to congregation, brothers and sisters. I'm going to say something strong. You see, earlier I talked about, you know, if you got problems, reach out to your brother. That's part of gathering together too. You know, if we got problems, we need to consult each other first. Gathering together don't mean just come to congregation. It means call your brother, find out how they're doing. If you got problem, contact your sister first. Israel first. We first. Any problem, any situation, before you take decision, contact your brother first. Brother, what should I do? I've seen in this truth myself. Brothers and sisters got problem. They're asking Christians for advice. And they got us here in the community, it's like we worth nothing to them.
But one of the things I always say, some of our people, they put unnecessary stress on them. Like, they need certain things, or they need certain help. They're not reaching out to nobody. They're like, I can't take it no more, it's too hard. Why do you think you have all those people around you? These are resources, people that can help you. They know something, they have something, they've done something before that can help you. Reach out. Resourcefulness is one of the greatest things you can have. Meaning, people around you know how to reach out. There's somebody that I know. She may not even know how to do anything, but she knows who to call. Her thing's always done. And sometimes I'm like, I don't get it. Like, let's say her car is breaking down. She already have 3 people on her list. I know who to call. Let me call this person. This one is like, I can't fix it for you. Okay, but what can I do? She will take a piece of advice from this one and transfer it and say, hey, listen, my car needs carburetor. Can you put the carburetor? But she got that advice from the first person. You call that resourcefulness, to be able to reach out to people and get help when you need it. Do not put all the burden and all the stress on you. Your people, your community, what you need, ask your people before you go ask the enemy, before you go ask them Christians. Exactly. Not even for advice. Because a lot of times the advice they're going to give you is not within the bounds of the law anyway.
Right? That's why we got certain sisters and brothers that fell off the truth. Because they got marriage problem, guess who they call? They're Christian pastor. How you in the truth you calling Christians for advice? What they going to tell you?
Break up.
Obey your husband? Christians don't obey their husband. They believe in that 50-50. They're not going to tell you to submit, but some of us, as the Bible says, we love to hear sweet things. That's why y'all ain't calling no Hebrews. You already know what we're going to tell you. You already know I'm going to tell sister, you need to get in order, man. You need to obey to that, man. You know, I don't want to hear that. Let me call my former pastor. Pastor Porkchop give you advice, now you're a single mother. Right? So reach out to us. Family, gather together, not just come to congregation, meaning, be around each other, be familiar with each other. I got problems, it's the community's problem. I'm gonna reach out. I got to borrow some money. If my brothers or sister can borrow it first, I'll do that before I go to the damn white man. I don't need the white man. That's what it means to gather together. Not come to congregation. What's the point we come here every Saturday but we have no real unity? You see? And support this community so we can prepare for bad times. When times come, we need to, like GYC need a boss right now. We need a boss to pick up people. We need a boss in case we have to flee. We put all of you together and like Mexicans, we flee out of this country. But we ain't got nothing. Everybody wanna keep, like we used to give the Christian money. Like if you remember how much 200, 300 used to give to the Christian church. But everybody's bringing $1 to the truth. Mm-hmm. You understand? Come on, let's do more. Let's build more. Let's put together. Let's work together. So when things happen, you don't say, "What is GYC doing?" I've got so many people, especially with my Creole people, Creole speakers. They tell me, "Why isn't GYC building schools and things?" It's like, how am I gonna build school? You think I can do magic?
Have you donated?
Like, even if you donate, you give $1, you think that can really make schools? No, there must be more efforts into it. You can't expect us to do more beyond what you give us. Right? So come together, build together. You know, put your mind into it. The Bible says put the kingdom first. Then all things will be given. Meaning if you put this work first, we can actually build a business and help you with a job. We can build a business and put your manager over it. Like someone got to do it. But if you're not building this, then you're going to always be humiliated by the white man. You understand? Because in the world, your pastor don't care for you. Your political leaders don't care for you. You are all you. We are all you got, and you are all we got.
That's right.
So we need to come together. That's the solution, period. We're not going to rely on the white man for salvation out here. Hebrew Israelites shouldn't be waiting for for hands out from people when we got problems so they can humiliate us. We don't want that. So it's all up to you. It's all up to us to support this truth and move forward. Kan? I madim la palme Jerusalem, let us stand in faith Jerusalem. The Most High bless you on the Shabbat day. Hallelujah.
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 Barakatah Yahawa.
Barakatah Yahawa.
Ba'ashem. Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Yahawashi. Lanatan lanu. Wayom. Hashabbat. Bashalom. Borak. Yisrael. Salak. Yisrael. Yeshai. Yisrael. Yechak. Shatan. Yechak. Shatan. Tawara. Tamyan. Amen. All praises unto Yahweh, our power, for reminding us of our responsibility to take charge of our lives and not waiting for other nations, not to assimilate with other nations, understanding the reality of things, removing delusions, that we may see clearly, that we may understand how the world operates, that we may prefer one another and put one another first. O Most High, thank you for wisdom and understanding, for once we were blind, now we see. Big understanding, great knowledge. Although we may not fully appreciate what we're learning, but this is the truth. This is what really gonna bring salvation to our people, is when we stick together and we have the understanding that we have to, our power come from each other, and that we gravitate toward one another and rebuild our nation, rebuild who we are. Continue to raise the truth for your heart through your spirit, and that more of our people understand the truth and the reality of things, and that the chain of darkness and the delusion may be broken from their hearts and mind, and that they may join GYC community and join with the Israelites, and that as a nation we can work together, not in division, but in unity, ready to put each other first before we put other nations. Thank you for the message. May your name be praised forever. Bless the Shabbat day. And let it be that as we speak not our own vain words and thoughts, but we keep the law as you have prescribed. Bless all Israel, bless the nation, rebuild Yahuwah, and rebuild the tabernacle of David that is fallen. We pray for all our people. Remove us from bondage and captivity and spiritual darkness. We pray and ask all these things by Hashem Yahushai Toad Tamyan. Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom Yaimu.
Barak Hashem Yisrael. Hallelujah Hashem Yahweh. Shabbat Shalom Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom Yaimu. Barak Hashem Yisrael. Hallelujah Hashem Yahweh. Give the Most High hand. We'll do one song, brother. Can you get the drum? We can do one song, right? All right, we'll do. It's been a long time. Put the camera a little bit up on my face, cause just a little bit. strange land where there is no love for the Hebrews. My enemies and me without cause in this place. Oh yeah, I'm ready to go back home. It's been a long time in a strange land. Where there is no love for the Hebrews. My enemies hate me without cause in this place. Oh yeah, I am ready to go back home. 400 years, 400 years of oppression. They treated dog better than us. But you say, the kingdom belong to us. Oh yeah, I am ready to go back home. My enemies and me, cause in this place. Oh yeah, I am ready to go back home. My enemies kill me, cause in this place. Oh yeah, I am ready to go back home. Bring me to Zion. Oh yeah, I am ready to go back home. I wanna see Zion again. Oh yeah, I am ready to go. Oh, I wanna see my home again. Oh yeah, I am ready to go back. Oh, I wanna see Zion again. Oh yeah, I am ready to go back home. My enemies hate me, without cause in this place. Oh yeah, I am ready to go back. Oh, my enemies kill me, cause in this place. Oh yeah, I am ready to go. Oh, bring me to Zion. Oh yeah, I am ready to go back home. I wanna see my home again. Oh yeah, I am ready to go back home. I wanna see Zion again. Oh yeah, I am ready to go back. Oh, bring me to Zion. Oh yeah, I am ready to go back home. Bring me home. Oh yeah, I am ready to go back. Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High. Thank you for joining GYC Community and Worship. May the Most High blessing continue to keep you. Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
How did that voice do as the master drummer today? Let me tell you something.